Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Is this? There's no sound? What? What? Okay. 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 We got sound. Well, I guess the music wasn't playing. Oh, well. All right. So we're back and we're playing Elden Ring. And once again, um, yeah, let's play some Elden Ring. We're going to do some more discussions. Let's see. We're going to try to get to everywhere but here. We're going to get the Golden Inquisitor back up to the Shadowlands. We got to get him home. That's where he belongs. He belongs at home with Letta, his one true love. That's his one true love. But don't tell Ronnie. Let's see. New question of the week for everybody who's part of the Discord, everybody that's curious about it. Let's see. That's going to be let's see, what was it? Question of the week. I think it's a doozy. I think it's a good one. All right. And this one was given to me, I believe, if I remember correctly, was given to me by, I think it was Rattle, or it was, I think it was Rattle. Maybe it was Nostal. But the question of the week, here it is. What are the exact origins of Millicent and her sisters? Furthermore, what do they represent? That is the question of the week. It is a doozy. It should make you think. That's what these questions are for. To think about the lore in a way you normally don't look at it, right? Don't go for the low-hanging fruit. What can you discern for thyself, right? All right, well, let's get in the mood. Let's turn off the lights. Put the kids to bed. Unless they like Elden Ring. Grab your lady or your man if he likes Elden Ring. If not, you don't need him. And come and let us journey together through the lands between. Welcome back, Cayman. All right, so we're gonna start Ronnie's quest line. Because I want to get Nefeli Lou's puppet thing or whatever. Oh, let me turn on my controller. All right, here we go. And will I be using this? I'll be using this weapon. For part of the time, we'll see. Oh, you know what? I've already done my 3 invasions. We should just go get the whatchamacallit. Go fight Vike and get his woman's blood on our napkin. Right? Might as well hit that up. Get that done out of the way quickly. Oh, you know what else? Something that we haven't done also. We'll put our sign out there. Just in case anybody needs help. And if they need help, they have the power of the Inquisition behind them. Of the gold. The power of gold. Not grace. Because I wonder who RPs in Elden Ring. Does anybody RP their characters? Or do you just, do you just straight up just go for it, like it's not a role play? Because I myself, I like to RP in my head. Oh, I'm getting summoned already. But I don't know. Maybe if they ever make a multiplayer or an MMO of Elden Ring or a game, if FromSoft ever dabbles in an MMO, I think an MMO in a world that they make would be amazing. Oh, geez. We've We've been summoned to the wrong world. Things are gonna go bad. What up, Rattle? What it do, Pikachu, says Rattle. Helping the people out. Romina, don't tell Boss. Luckily, Boss isn't here to see that we're about to do some bad things to his girlfriend. The host already died? Never mind. Never mind. Yeah, no, she one-shotted the host. That's crazy. All right. Now, the visuals in this game are amazing. Let me just say that again. I know we talk about it sometimes a little bit too much, but I just got to say they look amazing. Uh-oh. No, did I just kill myself? No, oh, nice. I know I know some people I believe might be Nosso in the Discord. Some people in the Discord, and I've heard that believe that when the shattering of the Elden Ring caused the land masses to shake and quake and change. And I think it's a good idea, but I'm not sure if I'm 100% behind that yet. And the reason the reason I question it, and which is not because I'm the Golden Inquisitor. It's because of these images here, these things, like these ruins of Ra, just encapsulated in the side of this mountain. Like, what is going on here? Why is it there? You know, if we believe that FromSoft does everything for a purpose, if you believe that the visual storytelling is 100% always visually telling us something of a story, what is the story that this tells us, right? And I know, I know I've said several times on this not podcast, but this thinking about the podcast I'm going to be working on this stream about that I don't believe in the great magma flood, but I don't believe that, but I don't think that these structures were carved out of the earth. There's, I don't know, perhaps they were. Oh, thank you, Rattle. He says the resolution is so excellent. Thanks, man. You know, I think it's like there's some Asian ancient societies and maybe some Mediterranean societies where they carved out cities out of the side of cliffs. And perhaps that's what this is representing, right? That maybe these pillars aren't like 100% pillars that have been encased in some type of rock. Maybe they're just simply carved out of the rock. And since they're not uniform, you know, we see the rock around it. Perhaps, you know, they didn't finish carving it out of the rock. I don't know. It boggles me. It's kind of like this, right? This is built into the cliffside, but it's also a different stone, right? Welcome back, Slope. Let's see, Slope. Slope says, I believe the art, including architecture, it's almost always foremost. Then gameplay is put in afterwards. Then lore. So, so the art architecture above gameplay, and then so for you, you think the lore is the final piece, is the last thing that they work on? Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. I have a question for you. If the lore is the last thing, how do they know what they want to make? What society or culture looks like before the lore is even there? Wait, is that frenzy flame not affecting me? Does that not affect you in new game? Slope says, yeah. Yeah, like Shadow Tree art first, then gameplay, then lore. He says they get a rough outline of the lore first, but the lore it's changed in my opinion. He continues, like lore will change if gameplay or art doesn't support it. Hey, there's Nosso. Welcome back, Nosso. Hi, nice to see you, man. Oh, I know why I'm not getting hit by Frenzy Flame. Because my HUD is off. I thought I was invincible. Dang. Huh. Slub continues. That's why I believe Glormite Queen, Godwin, etc. aren't really in the game. Because there's... Oh, because the lore for them came after the game was made. And also, you're having a headache, bro? Oh, what's up, yo pharaohs? How you doing? Oh, I'm glad to hear that your headache's gone. That you're good now. All right, now that we see what's going on, I'll give them the real flame. All right, good. These damn rats. These rat bastards. Slub says, I imagine Godskin would have had a bigger role if FromSoft had the time. Hmm. Do you really think so? I don't think so. I think they intentionally left it vague, not because out of time, but because they like the vagueness. It draws attention and mystery. There we go. Boom. He did. I think the Godskins are yeah. They're fascinating. Let me just say that right off the bat. I think they're fascinating. Their whole th- their whole look, the little tidbits of lore that we get about them, and where we find them, and because where we find them, man, this is what makes FromSoft so smart about it, because their placement is so intentional that it leads to so many ideas and so many theories that you could put together. I mean, I that's one thing I respect about them. They must like with sniper precision decide where to put everything, and think about what are multiple ways a person can read it into this if we place this one character here. Like, I mean, and there could be like no reason for that character to be there really, except that they needed a placement or just to throw us off. Because if you think about if we think about like the lands between like our real world, you know, a lot of people, if it's a real bustling planet or reality, a lot of people just meander, especially at the end of the world. I mean, they just roaming around because now there's nobody to stop them. And but when we play the game, if that's what their thinking was, right? If we play the game, we're like, oh, there's a Godskin at the Divine Tower protecting Ronnie. Oh, what could that mean? You know, it could mean a lot of things. But in the end, it could mean nothing at all, except that he was just walking there and seeing what was over there. You know, Slope says, I do think that Glowmark Queen is the intentionally vague storyline, but I think Godskins would have been explored more, and Glowmark Queen would have been still vague. Right? Oh yeah, and that's quite possible. Kind of like Velka and Guinevere and Gertrude and things like that. I mean, because if we compare the stories between Elden Ring, or because it is essentially the same type of storytelling, right? This vague storytelling and tidbits of clues at the end of the world. But you can really, in my opinion, you can really see the professional work of a real writer, which is George R. R. Martin, a professional novelist, right? World builder. That the world is has so much more depth, intention, and color to Elden Ring than we did in Dark Souls, because we had 3 games in Dark Souls, and it felt like when you compare it to Elden Ring's story, Dark Souls feels like it was written by a high school, AP student. It's great work, but it's not like professional level. It's missing like the yeast in the bread, right? It's still a good tortilla, but it's not like a loaf. You know what I mean? If that makes sense, right? I don't know if that makes sense. I'm just retarded. Slope says, yeah, item placement and character placements has always been important to their storytelling, besides maybe Demon Souls. I never played Demon Souls, so I'll take your word on it, big dog. Your Pharaoh says, I would say the most notable thing is the characters. Right. They feel much more, they feel fuller, more actualized or realized, They seem to have more agency instead of just an army man placed, you know, placed somewhere just because. You like your red lightning? I'll give it to you. Goodbye, Vike. Lo, we never knew thee. Nice. All right, we're done here. Let's see. Let's see. Cayman says they hired him in 2017, revealed the game in 2019, and it came out in 22. I'm thinking they probably had only done the basic work on the game at that point. Well, didn't that he say that in that interview? George R. R. Martin said they like contacted him like 10 years or something. I don't know. Don't get me. I may be misquoting him. Like he said a number of years before the release of Elden Ring, right? So a number of years. I guess it could be 2017, right? Right. Oh yeah, that's yeah. Okay, so that's a lot of time to write stuff, and he's got a great imagination. Slope says, Elden Ring's main game colors are wild. Then the DLC is grayed out because of the veil. While it deals with a whole spectrum of emotions, disparity of the DLC is crazy, super artistic. Well, I don't mean like colors as in visual colors. I mean colors as in in a fullness. It's more as a figurative way of saying that it feels like a more full, realized or fleshed out reality. You know, it's kind of like playing, what is it, Assassin's Creed Part 1, and then you're like, oh, this is a cool game, and then you go play Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, and it's just like, wow, it blows your mind because there's so much more depth, there's so much more to the game. And then Assassin's Creed, which just took place in one city. Number one, that is. Let me open up this. Yeah. Okay, boss says, welcome back, boss. Mr. Inquisition, I wanted to expand on my theory of the night fares are not there in body. When you do have the normal ending, your characters turn into a white light and fly away into to its original body. Right. Is that what you're saying? I thought they were just returning to the Erd Tree. Since they're all dead. Excuse me. I got to drink of this Pepsi Zero. Not sponsored though, but delicious. Let's see. Slope says, my favorite piece of art is the shadow tree myself. Oh, I love the shadow tree. Two trees embrace like lovers. Oh, hold on. Two trees embrace. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me read this correctly. He says, my favorite art piece is the shadow tree myself. Two trees in embrace like lovers is really cool looking. That being said, let me get a hoodie with just the Elden Ring on it. Oh, I thought he was going to go somewhere else with it. Anyways, Kevin says, I think so too. I'm just saying that the game was probably made with the lore in mind. Okay, I see. Slope continues. Yeah, a whole color spectrum of depth for actual in-game interactions of its characters and behind the scenes. I get it. Don't worry. I'm just thinking about how the colors are so important in the game. Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely the colors are important to the game. If you ever, I think it was what, Scum Mage, or is it Tarnish? I think it was Scum Mage that talks about like or somebody had like a 5-hour video or a 3-hour video that explaining all the colors and what they meant. I tried to watch that. It was just too much. I was like, this is too long. And a little bit boring, you know? But, that's not my flavor, really. But I did try to watch it multiple times. I think I did actually finish it. It just took me multiple times. Hawkshaw, is that who it was? Okay. I know, who was it also? Somebody also had like repainted, was it Jack? Or maybe Skummage. Somebody repainted Lindell in its original colors, like the rainbow city, which I find extremely fascinating. And I know I said that out before on here, but I still find it fascinating that FromSoft, in their wisdom and in their intelligence, kind of like God himself, thought to build in time and erosion into the game. Because just think about it. They built in time and erosion into this world, and we only play in technically the present, right? And yet we look at stuff like this. A rundown church. Don't tell Nelson, he'll go crazy. A rundown church, overgrown with vines, discolored by the weather, by rain, by the sun. And it's just amazing. It's just amazing. Hey, Calistral, welcome back. Nice to see you.
Ah, my lamb.
My lambkin, Calistral, hi.
You've completed your final trial. And with this, you are a formal inductee. A knight who will assist Luminary Moog, the Lord of Blood, in the establishment.
Why is it called a Luminary Moog? Isn't Luminary have to do with light?
Give me your finger. This noble blood will be an immutable badge of honor once it settles inside of you.
Is this where we get the infection? I like this part. It's like clench your teeth or something.
Oh, good heavens. Clench your teeth or something.
Slope says, yeah, color theory.
Never forget, that feeling of aggregate is what binds you to Luminary Moog, to all of us. You have the sweetest... Oh...
There we go.
Meddle with the power to... I've gone out, but you mustn't use... The meeting must wait. Luminary, we must...
All right, let's see. Where were we? Okay, Slope says, yeah, color theory is definitely one of the primary storytelling styles of Elden Ring, but Elden Ring plays around the colors too, so we get mixes of them, like Morgoth's blood is shifting hues. That and another thing that shifts around that they play around with is fire and what it does and what it can do and what it doesn't do. I don't think it's just, and it could be just to save money that they just reuse the asset of the fire, but if that was the reason why they did it, and then they built around that reason to make it a lore friendly, I think that's also very, very smart of them, very clever. Slope says, cause Moog's a guides Albinorgs and Bloody Fingers. He Aitens mofo. He enlightens mofos. Oh, I guess you're right. He's kind of like a real cult leader. Like he's the negative version of a cult leader, right? Because if you have Godwin, which is the positive version of a cult, the ancient dragon cult, Moog would be the opposite, the antithesis, the bad version of a cult and cult leader. Very smart. Good job, Slope. You're so smart, bro. All right, let's go to Moog. Wait, how do I use word? And this is why we do this. This is why we do the live theory crafting. Slope says, yeah, he's exactly starting a whole ass dynasty, except kidnapping and forcing it. Well, right, he was, and then he was usurped and overtaken by Mikla. So Mikla was the true culprit here. That Mikla turned out to be a far more dangerous cult leader, a far more dangerous, charismatic cult leader than Moog. Boss also says, the Illuminary Lord of Water. Ooh, I like that. Moog Time. Moog Time Records. That should be the name of the podcast. Moog Time Records. Wonder if get sued. Here, look. Let me do an intro for Moog Time Records. Welcome back, people. It's Moog Time Records starting today at 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. No? Moog Time? Slope says, Mikla's blinding strength. He was even more luminary, more bright of a light, hence his eye powers. Yeah. Rattle loves, he thinks it's hilarious. Bro, that's hilarious, he says. Boss says, bro may have relations to Mikla, the New York finance. Vetoed. I like Motown Records. Motown. Whoa. Let's do this. Let's go. Have I killed? I just want to get home to old sweet Letta. Oop, oop. Look, I'm like a ninja sometimes. I'm not even gonna lie. Look at this. I didn't even get touched. They can't see me because I'm red. Oh, and I can't see because it's dark. But I have a light. We're running for it. We're running. Oh, dang. Wait. Oh, wait. I got lost. This way. Am I fat rolling? No. Dang. No. What was Mika? Oh, hold on. Slope says, what was Michaela doing on that island? Same thing everybody else was. Unrighteous things. Let's see. Boss says, there's a lot of ancient tree pillars here. Maybe the ancient dynasty grew them. You know what? That's an interesting concept, boss. But you know what? Can I throw an idea to you, boss? I know a lot of people believe, and I believe this. I believe they're tree trunks too. Right? Perhaps the earth grew over this land. This land hole fell beneath into the hollows. But let me ask you this, boss. Everybody here, think critically. Could this be? These probably aren't trees, right? They're probably not ancient great trees or anything like that, because we don't see like ancient giant tree branches laying around, right? But we do see the trunks. Perhaps what we're seeing is not a tree, but what we're seeing is, everybody, stalagmites. Is it stalagmites or stalactites? Which one is it? It's one of the two. I don't know which one is what. Somebody smarter than me knows the actual name. It's either a stalagmite or a stalactite. Where water, because there's the ocean above us, right? Nope. Maybe I'm wrong. No. All right, I'm wrong. Well, there's water above us. There's water around us in the ocean. Okay, ocean here. There's water around us. We'll say that. Water dripping through the ground, forming these stalagmites, stalactites, or whatever, with the calcium and fluoride buildup. And that's what we're seeing. Has anybody ever been to a cavern and seen that shit? It looks kind of like this, but it's so old. It's, it's been disrupted. That's why they're broken apart, because the Nox or used the Hornson idea and started building downwards. Maybe. What do you think about that? I think time rises up. Rattle, can you explain that? Can you go further into that, please? Slope says, so I would say it confirms ancient dynasty was all about growing trees. Okay, trees, okay. Boss says ancient prehistoric trees with 90 trunks were ancient prehistoric trees were 90% trunks. Okay. But we will need more stalactites as big for more credibility. What do you mean when you say time rises up? I think time rises up. Are you talking about stalactites? Okay, boss. You said that we need more stalactites as big for more credibility. What about that one? And that one? The inn? This one? Are those trees or are they stalactites? And the only reason I question it is only because, as detailed as From Software is, that's a big detail. The roof ones? Okay. That's it. The mission stuff is just a big detail in my opinion. In my humble opinion. Let's see. All right. You know what, boss? You have a good point there. We'll see if we can find any up here. We'll go up. Get close to the ceiling as we can. And if there's stuff growing down, it's interesting. Welcome, Gear. Oh, Ancient Dynasty? You said, oh, yeah, okay. Hi, Gear. Gear 77777 says, I think it's interesting how Moog's arena is under the Radon battlefield. Is it? Let us check. Almost. It's near the Radon battlefield. Yes. Adjacent. Very close. They're neighbors. Well, boss, I don't see anything that would convince you. So I may be right. Well, the idea may be wrong. These may be actually trees. It was just a suggestion. There's raw ruins here where we farm the... Oh, yeah, over there. They're in the ground. It's interesting as well. So do you think that the ancient dynasty and Ra were contemporaries like Lindell and Fair Missoula? That would make sense. I think that would make sense. If in time there was always two great city-states or cultures, Ra and Fair Missoula. No, Ra and Ancient Dynasty were contemporaries. and then they transformed and eventually became Lindell and Fair Missoula. Or maybe it's vice versa. And then somewhere in there, the Hornsent rose up. But if the Hornsent rose up also, did they have a contemporary? Well, I guess their contemporary was Lindell then, perhaps. Maybe they killed each other off. Oh, maybe they did. Oh, what if the ancient dynasty is the Sun Realm? And Ra is... Oh, shit. Did you see that top 5 video I made? And the last theory was that the Sun Realm Knights were at war with these barbarians. What if the Sun Realm Knights are actually ancient dynastic knights and the barbarians are the raw people? The Sun Dynasty, yeah. Interesting. Oh, I want this one. We're gonna kill Moog quick. I think I can kill him quick. I think. I need the Goon Squad. This is a new game +4, so we'll see. We'll see how good the Goon Squad does. They eventually they're gonna meet their match, but hopefully it's not today. Goon Squad. All right, we're gonna do extra health just in case. All right. This is also very fascinating because, you know, we see in the cutscene that Mikla's a little kid, but here this cadaver is like huge. It's even bigger than Moog. Now, since Moog was the blood of this cadaver, was Moog... You know what? What if the blood is coming out of this cadaver? This cadaver is Moog. And since now Moog is blood, he's been transformed by the formless mother into this liquid creature, kind of like a silver tear, a silver mimic, right? He has no real form anymore. And we know Mikla needed Moog to teleport into the Shadow Realm. And so when he talks here, he's not talking to the cadaver. He's talking to Mikla through the cadaver. Like kind of like a prayer. You know, it's like when you have like a symbol but you're praying to like God or somebody. The symbol isn't God. It's just something to focus on while you make your prayer.
To the birthplace of our dynasty.
Because if we think about it, that would work. Because you don't say that. Oh, he's got horns. When Morgoth dies, when we kill him, he doesn't have his horns anymore. All right, come on, guys. All right, there you go. Now we get him.
dynasty. Morgwin.
He did. Mo's got the Phantom Rune too. He has some form of Phantom Blood powers, including the Bloody Finger type lore. His Great Rune even looks like an eye. It's the only one like that, like an outer god staring at you. Let's see. Oh, like the Eye of Sauron. Seek. Oh wait, the Great Shard Bearer. Oh, devoid of any benediction. What does benediction mean? Hey Google, what does benediction mean? Oh, internet's going out. Apparently, I don't know. Let's see. Hey Google, what does benediction mean? Oh, blessing. I've always wondered, what about the ring on the cadaver's finger? Blessing? A blessing or prayer traditionally delivered to at the end of a religious service. Dang it, from soft you and your invisibility stuff. What does that ring? What is it about that ring that you question, Rattle? Your Pharaoh says, we are never getting the cam mod, right? Are we never getting the cam? No. We're going to get it eventually. Eventually. I just, I don't know. I might get it one day. Maybe this week. This weekend. On my weekend. I'm not, yeah, maybe. It just seems like a lot of work, man. Like a lot of work. I download this, download that. And so I was just like, man, I just want to play the game. You know? Okay, they could be trees because look, you have some more trees over there. And you definitely, we can see the top of the cavern here. And there's definitely, well, oh, boss right there. Oh, is that, no, you can see right there that they're cut off. Okay. I was going to say they're dripping down from the ceiling. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe they could be stalagmites, stalactites. There's definitely water. What's crazy is the amount of water underneath the earth. Oh man. And another thing is that's crazy to me is like, what is it? What happened? How did the earth that's like open up and then swallow them like a giant mouth and then close up on top over top of them? Could that be what this line here represents, where the earth, like a tectonic plate, opened up and swallowed the eternal city? Rattle says it could provide insight into the identity of the body, if Mikla or otherwise. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. All right, let's sit down here. Nostel says, oh, let's see. Oh, wait. Slope says, yeah, the false guy really isn't explained anywhere. I don't think even Dukas, Urba, etc. don't really say anything, right? Huh? Where's Letta? Oh, it's because I gotta defeat Radani. I think they were teleported down there like the Aster's meteor sorcery. When meteors disappear. What? Hold on. Meteor sorcery. Let's see. I think they were teleported down there like with Aster's meteor sorcery. Or when the meteors disappear. Nostal adds minor Earth trees and huge tree stumps in the Forbidden Lands are also interesting. Is it on the wedding finger though? That is a good question. Because in Elden Ring, it's the right hand that's the yes, it is the right hand. It is the wedding finger. Because in Elden Ring it's the right hand that you use for engagements and stuff. Because when you wed Ranny or whatever, you put the wedding ring or the engagement ring on her right hand, on one of her right hands. Let me say that. Boss says Inquisitor. I have irrefutable proof that they are trees. There's one at south in the concentrated snowfields. Oh, there's ones some at the south in the consecrated snowfields. You're right. They are. All right, boss. Okay. Irrefutable. Okay. I believe it now. Slope says the earth could have turned over to explain the Nox buildings in the ceiling, but I'd say it's the Astel blew stuff up and the sky got too hot and bright, so they build a building underground. Interesting. Rattle says, my timing skills are horrible. Okay, Astel gets there, opens a giant gateway / portal. The gateway / portal is spherical and encompasses the arena. Oh, the area, and swallows the eternal city and its denizens. Then they pop up underground. Okay, I think that works. Slope says, though they also could have built underground already and just got sealed underground by Estelle. I think that works too. Both of those are very well thought out, and they're both probable. Kind of like the dwarves, right? The Dwemer in Elder Scrolls, they had a whole underground society. All right, let's see. Can I start Radon's quest here?
Go on, this soul geezer hasn't any.
Wait, what do I have to do? Already talk. Oh wait, now it's time to talk to Ronnie. And Night Rain says it resurfaces, but resurfaces from out of what though? That's the question, right? Does it resurface out of the ground or does it resurface from out of time? Right? I mean the idea of resurfacing is tricky language, because if time is like a sea or something and it just manifests itself because time is falling apart, and perhaps it was underground at one time, and so it being out of time once again, I don't know. It's complicated. I don't know. It's kind of like yeah.
Oh, again we cross paths.
Yes, my love.
I believe I said my name was Rena.
Yes,
when
you did.
last we met. It pleaseth me to see Torrent hale and hearty, but tarnished. What business hast thou here?
I came looking for
I have
you.
no memory of inking thee an invitation.
Your eyes were the invitation.
No reason in particular thou claimest.
Oh.
Intriguing. Then mayhaps fate hath steered thee to this reunion. Wilt thou enter into my service? I am the witch Rani. I stole death long ago, and search now for the dark path, that I might one day upend the whole of it, and rid the world of all that came before. Well, has that roused thy interest?
Perhaps.
I see. Thou art a rare sword. Not many would have accepted the offer, but I require as much of those under my command. I anticipate good work from thee.
Rattle says, a lost city that was desolated in a single night and sealed underground, but recently resurfaced. The vast city, showing no sign of life, is brimming with curses and overrun by undead. The soul remains of those who sought the secret treasures said to be hidden in there. This is copy pasted from the game. Okay. So what does that mean? What does it mean to you though? Slope says, primarily for the Nox banishment, I look at Estelle able to call meteors from rifts, and how the moonlight altar Rani Finger's spot was completely destroyed by meteors. Okay, so are you saying that the meteors made a ceiling over the cavern, or over them? Oops. Resurfaced. See, that's tricky. How does a whole city resurface, Rattle? That's what's boggling me. If you can reconcile that or come out with a good explanation about what it means to come out of the ground, a whole city.
Oh, so you were the one.
Maybe Estelle descended upon the city and opened a rift big enough to consume it, blinking it underground.
I am Yakarian royal family's dedicated blacksmith and Lady Rani's war. I'm told that I will keep.
Name's Blythe. Glad to have you. Well, I'm situated the Eternal City. I'm planning to go below through the west. See if I can't find.
It could explain why there are Ul ruins above and below ground.
Yes,
True.
I don't know
Oh well, the game calls it a shifting earth. Well, yeah, you're right. And the shift is to shake the earth, or like panhandling, you shift through the sand looking for gold, right? So an earthquake, shifting earth, and then the city emerges from the ground magically. And if that's the explanation, that's the explanation. There's no real explanation for it, and that's what I'm just gonna stick with. That it shifts, it shakes, vibrates, and the city comes out of the ground. It makes sense. If that's all we got,
I shall soon, and it will be some time before I wake. This doll's
Rattle
body
says,
is
I think it
not
might
without its
mean more like a
hindrances.
rearrangement,
Still, I have
but I'm not
high hopes
saying you're
for
wrong.
thee.
Well, I mean,
I look forward to
what do
the
you mean
good
by
news when
rearrangement?
I arise. I shall, and it will be. I have high.
Because the shifting earth thing also has a whole rot forest up here on the map. Okay, yes. Oh yeah. So the shifting earth. Okay, so with that, you might be. Are you fighting against your argument? Because then it would mean if the whole, maybe it just shifts the shifts in reality. Maybe. What do you think about that? The earth shifts, that part of the earth shifts reality to something else. Godfrey's theme is Shattered Earth. His stomp is called that. His special attack does it, and his cloak design is Shattered Earth. Is it? Interesting. I don't I don't know. Okay, she's asleep. That means we can go kill Radon now, maybe. Let me see if I have his cloak. I want to see what you're talking about. Radon's cloak. What does it look like? Do I have it? Or no, not Radon. You're talking about Godfrey. Godfrey's cloak. All right, let's look at this. Let's look at this thing. Is there a Shattered Earth? Oh, on the bottom of his cloak. Okay, I see what you mean. I might have to find a thing. Oh, let's see. I might have to find something to. There must be a Discord somewhere where they have this asset laid out. We can look at it. Huh. Hey, boss, if you're still looking for a blue cloak, man, here's that blue cloak that you want. By the way, you don't have to wear Inquisition red. Rattle says, yeah, like you're saying tectonic type movements. I'm thinking more like a deck of cards where a card is pulled from one place and put into another in the deck. I'm bad at metaphors though. This is a throwaway theory, boss says. The Nox were a superpower and the capital was Noclateo, present day Lindell. But they were punished by the Greater Will and they ran away to the underground colonies. Okay, I mean that's entirely possible. Nossel says lines betweens are clearly unnaturally twisted. This is clearly not just plate tectonics and volcanic activity that determined how the environment looks. I believe in Elden Ring creationism. A Bible thumper. He's an Elden Ring thumper. That's what it is.
Go on this, so... Well, then you must serve the next time you speak to E.G. Tell him the Festival of Radon will surely say... By the by, isn't a bit of a haughty and funny thing, but not one of them? Go on this, soul.
All right, I guess we'll go talk to E.G. now. A true fundamentalist. He is. He's a he's a Elden Ring thumper.
Well, my fellow, as war comes.
Jaren.
Before taking an exo surprise. Oh no. How did I not see it? I ought to let me explain. As is a general who stood up to them, so as would perhaps go with blush to General perhaps.
Like my character. My character, though he has high faith and he uses incantations, he doesn't believe in fundamentalism. He doesn't believe in creatism. He's more of a, I don't know, a scientist. That's my character though.
Champions!
Oh, it's starting.
Welcome. The stars have aligned. The festival is nigh. Are you the festival?
All right, here we go. We're gonna get to Shadowlands
Before we
tonight.
begin, allow me to paint you the full picture. General Radahn is cursed ever to wander. Eaten from the inside by Melania's scarlet rot, his wits are long gone. Now he gathers the corpses of former friends and foes alike, gorging on them like a dog. Howling at the sky. But now, we must make merry. Oh, gathering of champions!
Nassel says, I believe in the power of the Elden Ring, the Crucible, and the guidance of the stars. Evolution is not only heretical, it is wrong. Your Pharaoh says, do you think Selin would be the same age as Jaren? But Selin keeps changing bodies, and that's why she looks young. I think Selin would be much older. I think Selin's older than we can possibly imagine. Oh yeah, she looks real young. Oh yeah, she's a raven-haired beauty. If you somebody on maybe it was Bonfire VN, he took the helmets off of everybody. She is a dangerous woman, like most women. But yeah, she's definitely not to be trifled with. She's the one that you shouldn't bring home to mama or to your house. You meet her at a hotel, and hopefully she doesn't follow you home. She would predate Radahn most likely if she was a peer to Rennala, as the paintings in the debate parlor depict. That is true. That is true. But to counter that, those paintings, her painting could have been added at a much later date. Kind of like, you know, when you go to high schools and stuff, the principals are all placed up there. And ones from the 70s are next to the ones from the 90s and 2000s or whatever. It could probably mean that. Rennala looks like looks super young even when, oh shit, hold on. No. Be prepared for what? The death of the okie dokie. Oh shit. This weapon is too powerful. Oh god. Is this new game plus 4? Yeah, I'm telling you. The Halo scythe, if you're a faith build Halo scythe, kills everybody. That thing is too powerful. Does too much damage too fast. And you don't have to build it up, you just let it rip. And now, if Mikla wanted to do the Eclipse, he could probably do it now. Now that the sky is unlocked. But he's in the Shadowlands now. Let's put this monster away.
Ah, good. I was waiting for you. The glory of the clan. A falling star right before our eyes. I can't fathom how Radahn was holding back something of that scale. He was a living legend if ever I... The path has now been to Nokra, where Ranni's fate will be decided. Let's meet where the Fall will take up our soul.
All right, all right. There's Alexander. We'll talk to him. 'Cause he's a good chap.
Aye. One hit was all it took to crack me. And from after that, and as such,
Should we kill Alexander and get the weaker version of that? No, I can't kill him. He's too nice.
as luck would have, if I can, and you know, who could expect any less? Just you wait.
Oh, Alexander.
Let's meet where the Fallen will go into. My only purpose, the curtains run.
All right. All right, let's go to Shadowlands. Boom. We're there. And in my opinion, I think you're supposed to beat, if you start the game, I think you're supposed to beat the Shadowlands before you become Elden Lord, probably before you go to the Halleck tree. Because Melania's there waiting for Mikla to return. and he's never going to return, and we know why, because we've eliminated him. And so it makes it a much more tragic tale for her, because she's been waiting on her dead brother, and we've come there to send her to meet him as well. And here's my love, Letta, the loyal Letta.
Ah, were you guided here by kindly Mikola? I am Leda. And like you, I was guided by faith along his honorable path. Touch the withered arm, and you too will be transported to the realm of shadow where Mikola the Kind now dwells. My compatriots are there already. Like us, they have heard kindly Mikola's call. If you can find them, they are certain to lend you aid.
She has a velvety voice. The voice actor, I don't know if her voice exactly sounds like that, but damn, that's some good voice acting. A velvety voice.
Come now, touch the withered arm and travel to the realm of shadow. I will not be far behind. May we meet again.
For Letta, I'll let her see my face. There you go, Letta. Shows you that I care. She's stinky? No way, Pharaohs. Man, she's not stinky, bro. She's not stinky. Sounds like a chill bartender. Yes. What do you call her? Pookie? I remember when I first walked out, and I'm going to feel that same feeling. This scene is amazing. Amazing. That's always going to boggle me. Oh, it's always going to boggle me that the moon is still in the east. Oh, I took some pictures yesterday. I wanted to show you. I saw the dark moon, Ronnie's dark moon or whatever, yesterday while we were doing the call-in. Oh, hold on. All right. Slope says, the view clearly shows the shadow tree dropping into the basin vessel, just like the trailer. All right. I mean, oh, I see. Oh, you're talking about the gold. Oh, the gold. Yeah. Okay. I thought you meant the black, the black, whatever that is. But yes. Okay. The gold energy or sap is what you're talking about. Yes, that's clearly going into the center of that structure, and the basin is there. Perhaps that is the real Erd tree, and what we're seeing in the lands between is a false representation. And you know what? I'm going to stand behind that 100%. This is the real Erd tree. Wait. Hold on, y'all. Is my game just... No. Okay, never mind. It's just fog or rendering problems. Let's see. Your Pharaoh says, pretty creepy how the moon just disappeared there, right? It might be the cloud cover. That's the Boldagen, says Rattle. Could be. Could be. I understand with the drapes of the bed chamber. Let's see. Welcome back, Masorte. America hides the real Erdtree. Yes, I 100%. This is the real Erdtree. Slope says, it's the evil sins of the Erdtree lingering and following the Erdtree. The evil sins of the Erdtree lingering and following the Erdtree. How can a tree sin? Let me ask you that. Or do you mean the sins of America? Because remember, the original sin is here in this realm, and whatchamacallit, Mesmer is keeping it company, or here along with it. So in Mesmer's remembrance, I think I still have it. Right here. Hidden away, keeping company with the original sin and a hatred that would not be confined. Okay, so since original sin is not capitalized, right? So we know it's not a person, place, or thing. It's an action. It's an action or an ideal. Not ideal, an idea, right? So original sin is here. There's something here that represents an action that is original sin. It's either A, the original sin. I know what the original sin is. I just thought it clicked in my head. Do you want to know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. The original sin. No, I'm not going to tell you. I'll wait. Boss says, my new thoughts that my peers may share is that maybe the original sin is the Shimpi manipulation. No, I don't think it is. But maybe if you expand on that, we might be on parallel thoughts. Look, there goes the moon again. Slope says that one's the mistranslation, sort of. It says karma or causality in Japanese. I don't think it's a mistranslation. I think it's translated exactly the way they want it to be. Because remember, the game is different per region, right? It's representing ideals and thoughts and per region of the world, right? So in Japan and in Asia, all that stuff makes sense for them. It doesn't make sense for us. So we have our own version of Elden Ring, just like probably the Europeans have their own version of Elden Ring. Slight mistranslations, you could say, but they're intentional. So it makes sense to us in our frame of looking, in our lens that we look at things. Let's see. Your Pharaoh says, man, the way it keeps disappearing is freaking me out. It's like it knows you're watching. Yeah. Let's go back over here. We'll wait. Anyways, let me tell you what the original sin is. And this is a hill I'm going to die on. I'm going to die on. You can crucify me to the tree next to Godfrey on this one. The original sin, ladies, or I mean just gentlemen, really. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Callisto's here. Lady and gentlemen. Keeping company with the original sin and a hatred that would not be confined. What is the catalyst that started all of this? The jarring of the shaman. That's the original sin. The jarring of the shaman set off a chain of events, causality, that led us back to the beginning, regression. That's the original sin. Murder, says Boss. Boss, you are correct. Nostril says English version question mark literal question mark like lampwood question mark colon D. There's always figurative language. Who knows? I'm not sure. Slope says that's a thing Elden Ring tries to portray. That shit is alive and it's watching you too, like the moon and sun in the map, right? And what else do we see in Dustbloods? Their trailer, their moon is alive. It has a face just like we see in our map. Okay, Rattle says, I thought the original sin was the cheating of a god. Well, in Night Rain, right? Well, Night Rain takes place gets information from different eras in time. The Cutting Gifted tribe, their information could predate America. But in base Elden Ring, we don't know, we can't look at anything that predates America as the original sin, because the original sin would have to be something that affected her. The original sin is something that affects personally to somebody, or in my opinion. Mastrose says, when America was God, she gave power to everyone. When the Golden Order, the religion of the fingers, took over and imprisoned America with Radigan's help, they hid the Shadowlands and the real Erdtree. I believe mostly with what you just said. He continues, Mastrote continues. They did it tricking people with that America was still alive and was the god. True. I agree with that. They tricked the people that America was still alive and was the god. Slope says, intelligence. Like the apple of the Garden of Eden, in my opinion, was most likely, which is mostly blacksmithing, fingers and jarring to become a god, godly, like the Tower of Babylon in Lim. So you think intelligence is the original sin? Is that what you're telling me? That was before the shattering, Mastrote says. Right. Maybe. Which shattering? The Shattering War, the shattering of the Elden Ring, and if you're talking about the Elden Ring, which shattering of the Elden Ring? Because the Elden Ring, I believe, has been shattered more than twice. More than 4 times. Maybe 7. Perhaps 8. I'm going to go with 8. Slope says, that's the original sin in my opinion. Intelligence is the original sin. It can't be. It can't be. Can I tell you why? If you're saying intelligence is the original sin, can I tell you why it's not? Can I tell you why it's not? Rattle says, Slope could be on to something. As Mikla set out to right the wrongs of America, it is in his speech he speaks of going back to Elden. Why why choose that language provokes thought. Slope says, yes, I think the original sin is intelligence, aka the apple in the Garden of Eden. Only once shattered, says Mastrote. Slope, let me tell you why it's not the original sin. Okay. Because the greater will gave intelligence to the lands between. We learned that through the Beastmen. Can I put my glasses on? What's his name? 6ix9ine always says, can I put my glasses back on? The greater will cannot commit a sin. That goes against the religion. Can I put my glasses back on? That's it. let's go this way. Mater's wounding and sealing destined death. Mater's wounding / sealing destined death / wait, that's a lot of slashes. Hold on. Nossel says Mater's wounding / sealing destined death / defeating the Glowmine Queen / burning the Erd tree might be all at once the original sin. No, so I like where you're going. 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 Let's look at this moon. You're starting to freak me out, Pharaohs. Ugh. They're getting chills. I live by myself, bro. You can't be saying stuff like that about the moon being alive. All right. What time is it? Is it early day? Okay, let's go to night. Let's go to night. Slope says, yeah, but the one great made a mistake that all curses, all problems arose from. It's easy to say that the one great made the ascension process, but through the process, the mistake caused suffering. You're reading too much into it. Also, that statement from Hayeta, you're basing a whole truth off lies, off somebody that isn't trustworthy. Hayeta and Shibiri, the Chaos Flame, Frenzy Flame, you can't trust anything they say. You cannot trust anything at all. AK intelligence in the world inherently flawed and causes curse. Unless, I mean, I understand that if you believe in the Frenzy Flame, then yes. Because the idea of the Frenzy Flame and what they represent and what they're telling you and what they're trying to convince, their motives and everything, right? It's like saying that Buddhism or whatever is the one true faith, or Christianity is the one true faith. They are speaking from their pool of knowledge, of their interpretation of the way the world is. And you can't trust it because it's skewed to believe the way their information is skewed to make them look in a better light than everybody else. Right? I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly, but this is why you can't trust like Bible thumpers, and you can't trust people who believe in science 100%. You can't believe people who are 100% into one thing, because it doesn't allow for they themselves can't understand that there's something more than what they know. They've pigeonholed the whole world into a cup when the cup is actually, the boundaries. Reality in life is outside the cup. The cup is underwater, right? So they filled the cup with water, but what they don't realize, or they fail to see, is that the reality, the whole cup is underwater. Maybe that makes sense. Hey, welcome back, Julie. The Newmans gave intelligence to the beasts and grafting themselves to the crucible, Mastrote says. Julie says, but wasn't intelligence granted to the beasts by the dragons? Was that back then the original sin then? I thought America was involved. I don't think the dragons were doing it. In the 1.0 of the game, it says somewhere in one of the item descriptions that they changed out, it said that intelligence was given by the greater will. Let's see. The trees definitely no. Oh man, you're creeping me out with this moon stuff. We're gonna look for the moon. We're gonna go look this way. Slope says it's skewed for sure, but that's why Melina says that alternative to the frenzy flame. The world is flawed, but yes, that is bad as yet. But as bad as life, it is blah. But as bad as it is, life birth continues. Still, life is still good enough to not burn. Right, but she's counterpointing them, which because she's rational, and so you can't trust anything that they say, right? Because the truth is, you're going to burn the world, or you're going to burn up the earth, or you're going to burn up the lands between. And she's also she's also adherent to the Golden Order, to the Earth Tree culture. So anything that's against the will of America or whatever she believes in is also an antithesis to her. I mean, it's all you have to look at it like that. Perhaps claiming that one religion is the real one is the original sin, to kill a god and speak for a god. Your pharaohs, that is I never thought about. Oh, okay, there's the moon. Okay. Water, says boss. Shimpy. Slope says Chinkladea. Julie says Chinkladea, but I didn't see it in the 1.0 version. Maybe it was was it the Chinkladea? I don't know. It was something. Maybe it was one of the spells. No, it was the Chinkladea. It was this. Intelligence granted upon their kind by the greater will, I think is what it used to say. Man, I wish I had a 1.0 game. Slope says, yeah, after the week 1 patch, they removed the greater will from the description. See, there you go. The moon is an eyeball, and the dark moon is the second one, boss says. I don't know. It's not disappearing now. Let's see. Rattle says, the moon is an outer god. It gets its own ending, and at least through ritual, it is elevated to Shimpy / power level to be considered an outer god. Interesting. Slope says, it's the real version of philosophy. Melina agrees, as everyone does, that the world is inherently fucked. Mekla, Gold Mask, Melania, etc. But they all want to fix the original sin from fucked up the world. The original sin from the fucked up the world. That fucked up the world. Oh, okay. Yeah, but what you're not seeing is that what you're doing is that you're looking at the original sin through the lens of a religion, and not in the lens of what was. Right? Even though you're looking at it through multiple religions, right? It's still skewed from the idea of a faith. Because think about it. Like the Crusades. For instance, think of the Crusades. The Crusades were all done by a religion, and each side thought they were correct. They were doing the will of God. But if we look at it from outside the religious lens, we see it's just a war that was horrible, and a lot of people died. And everybody thought they had the right idea. And that's what we need to look at when we look at the original sin outside the lens of a religion, outside of a faith. Look at it for what it is. And so if we remove the theology, right? You remove the theology, and then what do we have? America's version of the original, her thought of what the original sin was, from her point of view, would probably be the murder of the shaman, the jarring of the shaman. Mastorza says, during the first dragon societies, the Newmans arrived on Earth and grafted to the crucible to be part of the life forms. They became the new evolved beastmen and later evolved into humanoids. Oh, that's interesting. Julie says, "Oh, it doesn't say the dragons gave them, but I thought it was them because of Faramazula related blah." Right, but it was also, but yeah, I can understand where you got that idea. Nossel says, according to Freeman's theory, dragons might have gained intelligence and able to communicate with Mater by eating finger mushrooms. That is a great idea. And Julie, I don't know if you've heard that idea, but I would think about what that says about that, because it's actually very good. It's a very good idea, because that explains why they have finger crowns and fingers growing out of their heads and like worms growing out of their tails and their backs. Mastrote says, yes, the moon's gone again. Oh, it's because it's cloudy. Let's turn this way. Yes, the moon is the outer god representation of what the mind stat supposed to be powered by. The mind stat? You know what? I've never heard anybody bring up the mind stat. Let's look at that. Determines focus points and also affects focus. What is focus? Your resistance to sleep, bouts of madness, the higher the number, the lower your susceptibility. Governed by your attributes as well as defensive gear and any additional effects. Dang. Okay. You know what? I can see it because of sleep and stuff. The moon's nighttime, sleepy. Let's see. Slope says, I think you're trying to say the original sin is a literal act, which is fine, but I think it's both the act of ascension to godhood and the mistake of the greater one, causing chaos and karma and causality. And intelligence, the apple, the fruit tree, is the act of ascension and the war and conflict. See, but I don't agree with that at all. I don't think Marika was thinking that deep when she thought what the original sin was, or even Radagon. If you think that the thought of the original sin didn't come in till the Golden Order, right? I think you're. Yeah, I don't think it's. I don't think that's what she was thinking. You know, because think about it. Was she like, oh, when she was thinking, if it was Marika, because I believe it was Radigan, but for sake of conversation, Marika was like, oh, because the greater will and God and everything, I'm going to seal away my son and this whole land. No. It's the act of the genocide, in my opinion. I don't think it's as deep as you're thinking it, or as grandiose. Mastroche says, it is a belief that the dragons gave them intelligence because it happened when they were in charge. Oh, you meant the intelligence stat. Oh, okay. So okay, I see what you mean. Meta says, welcome back, Meta. I'm down with that. Greater willpower via the dragons, via the fingers. That the greater will power via the dragons, via the fingers. Okay. Oh. But do you mean via the fingers? I mean, the dragons got power from the fingers, and the fingers got power from the greater will. Slope says, I think Marika looked up the original sin as Goldmask does, blaming the outer gods for the war over power and possessing the bodies of her children, saying that the flaw in the Golden Order is the outer gods. Interesting. Okay. Meta saying, I'm saying how the beastmen got their hands. Oh, oh, okay. Interesting. Greater will powered via greater will power via the dragons via the fingers. I'm Meta. I don't. Maybe explain that a little bit more. I'm lost. If the greater will power the dragons, and the dragons. Oh, so you're saying that the dragons gave fingers to the beastmen? Is that what you're saying? Okay, if that's what you're saying, then okay, yeah, I can see that line of thought if that's what you're saying. I'm a little slow sometimes. Okay, boss comes back with a counterpoint, something amazing, I believe. If we follow my theory of the dragon's generations, okay, the ancient dragons, finger dragons, were conceived in the period when Placidusax mated with his god, but the Gen 1 dragons were modified. Aren't modified. Mated with his god. Okay. Meta says, yeah, I was just plus wanting Mastrote. Oh, okay. Mastrote says, yes, America's original sin was betraying and sacrificing everyone to become God and defeating the Fingers religion by wounding Mater and disconnecting them from the greater will. Oh, I like that idea. I like that idea that she was the catalyst, or she was the reason behind everybody's losing their connection to the greater will. And you know what? But what would Mastrote? What would be the reason behind that, though? That's what I want. I want to see what you come up with. What's her motive? There's always got to be a motive. Meta says, the problem I have with the dragons is the scale. The giant ancient dragons is leagues beyond even Placidusax scale. Or are you? Oh, you're talking about size, right? Right, and I agree with you. There is a size scale there, if that's what you mean. That is incredibly interesting. Perhaps Meta. Let me throw this out here and let me know what you think. Perhaps Placidusax is Elden Lord, or is said, or perhaps Placidusax is only a leader because all the other greater dragons, the bigger dragons, are dead. So he's kind of the runt of the leader, like Godric, right? He's all that's left. Him and Bale were all that was left, and that's why they fought. Of the great big ones, you know. Because one more thing, Placidusax may not even be Elden Lord, because remember his remembrance says said to be, which is third-party information that can't be trusted and is very fallible, right? So if it's said to be Elden Lord of a prehistoric time, it also could be misinformation from a third party, because if we look at it, Godric is said to be the Lord of all that is golden, and he's not. Think about that one. Let's see. Meta says, yeah, that makes sense. Actually, just because he's the leader doesn't mean he's the older. The dragons before him might have been even larger. Boss says Placidusax is a Elden Lord and not the first Dragon Lord. Okay, and let's see. Slope says, imagine fighting Grand Placidusax in real size. and the Elden Ring shit would light your PS4. Yeah. Meta says the theme of the runt being the agent of change, the last of the line, or the first is a repeating theme. Mastrote says first gen dragons were built by the Titans. Gen 2 dragons were the fingered dragons, and from the Greater Will, Gen 3 dragons were the Newmans that created what? Oh, Dragon Communion. Okay. And became drakes like Bale to fight. Bro, I don't know where you're getting this, that the Titans were built the dragons, man. Where are you? What in the world? Against the Finger religion and their dragons powered by the Greater Will. Radigan. You think Radigan built Ferris? You think Radigan built the dragons? What? Radigan's not a dragon. Oh my god, bro. Let's see. But Radigan's not. That's a hill I'm gonna die on. Right, was not ever a quadruped or bipedal lizard thing with wings. Pharaohs. Oh, you just wanted to say Radigan? Oh, okay. All right, let's see. Slope says, I mean, we see how glitchy it is when Grail is modded to have its in-game files attacks restored. It's super glitchy because it's too big. Okay. We can confirm the size of the dragons is limited because it's too glitchy. Huh, I didn't know that. But that makes sense. If the game engine can't handle stuff like that, then yeah, perhaps they'll use Unreal Engine 5 next time in Elden Ring 2: The Wrath of Godwin. Let's see. Mastrote says the Titans build the dragons on the forge. Wow. Okay, Mastrote. Pharaoh says, what kind of evidence would be necessary for you to believe that Radagon was a dragon? What? Scales, wings, a painting, a cutscene, an item text, I don't know, anything. But the whole thing, a dragon, Radagon dragon, that doesn't hold any water, bro. That's like saying that the moon is a god. It's a good idea, but it there's nothing to back it up. That's like saying, like my theory, saying that Mikla is Godwin reincarnated. It's an okay idea, but there's like nothing really to back it up. You know? Boss says, oh, okay. Mastrose says it holds the entire ocean. Okay, bro. You know what? I'm gonna bury the hatchet, and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna bury the hatchet so we can have peace. We can have peace in the Middle East. All right, I'll say it just for you. Just for you, Pharaohs. I'll say it. Radagon was not a dragon. There you go. I agree with you. Slope says, if dragons are red hair and Radagon was stone in the lore connection, not just the petrified wood skin that is stone, because everyone who too old, dead, becomes stone and petrified wood. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, look how pretty the sky is. It's a we'll never have peace. I don't want peace. I want problems always. How beautiful. Nostril says, or asks, do you think Texas is going to win against Godzilla? If so, how? No. Nobody wins against Godzilla. Even Texas. I'm afraid if Texas was ever gonna not win something, it would be against Godzilla. Against any other monster, Texas would win. Against anything else, America herself, Radigan himself, Godwin, Fortisax, Texas would win. But Godzilla, you can't stop him. Yep, you can't nuke Godzilla. He's impervious to bullets, and we have lots of bullets in Texas. We love bullets. Jackal, welcome back, man. Radigan is Godzilla. Yes. Right. Yo, Pharaohs, I would agree to if you say that Radigan is Godzilla, I would back you up, and that I would die on that hill. Just like Jackal said. Bale is Godzilla and Plutossax is King Ghidorah. Godzilla won the Alamo. The Alamo was a great thing. It's a great. What happened there wasn't great, but the heroes that fought and died there will forever be in our hearts. Let's see. Mastrote says, America's motive was to destroy finger religion and destroy the sun realm and enslave her people when she became a jar saint. She learns about the old rituals and help the horn saint. Interesting. Radagon is kind of Godzilla. He connected to the crucible mutations and just like Godzilla mutated. Interesting. So too the rituals ended up betraying them. Godzilla won the alimony. He won alimony for sure. I need to put this on tape. Okay. So boss, since you're right, that the ancient dynastic ruins and the raw ruins are side by side. I'm gonna let me before I close the stream. 100%. The ancient dynasty is the Sun Realm, and the raw ruins, the raw or Blackstone civilization, whatever you want to call them, are the barbarians. And they were contemporary city-states, civilization, cultures at war. And this is what we see. So top 5 theories. Number 1, this guy is Sun Realm, dynastic. And the guy with the scythe and the barbarians with the curved swords are the raw people. This is a raw person. It's good. Because he's using spirits to fight. And what did Raw use? Sprites, which are spirits. This is why you come here. This is better than my lore theory videos. I'm not gonna lie. us as a community, do better work than Vita Video. I'm not gonna lie. We do better work here as a think tank. Together, we'll discover the truth. And Vadi does great stuff. Don't get me wrong, but as a think tank, we do better work. Remember, water is wet. Is it wet though? Water can't be wet, bro. Come on. And that's what the Inquisition is. That's what the Golden Inquisition is. A think tank. Even though I can't say the freaking word, that's what it is. All right. Let's see. Meta says also the dress is white and gold. Jackal. I think about tanks a lot too. Fish tanks. All right, everybody. It's been 2 hours. We had a lot of fun. We came up with a lot of good theories. That I think that one right there, this last one, was a great one, and I think it actually works. It works. So, I bid you good night. Be safe out there. I'll be back to what's tomorrow? Wednesday. Tomorrow we're gonna give Elden Ring a break tomorrow, on Wednesday. Boom, boom, boom. We'll play. We'll try to play other games. Maybe we'll play Resident Evil, and if I get the urge to play Elden Ring, we'll switch to Elden Ring. But we're gonna try to play Resident Evil tomorrow, Resident Evil 0, because it's an oldie. And then we'll get back to Elden Ring. But yeah, let's boom, boom, boom. We'll give Elden Ring a little break. Maybe some Resident Evil, some Helldivers, some sleepy time. We'll see. Boss says, I think about water sometimes. Everything is Newman, says Mastrote. Mastrote, you're going to turn into Jack, where everything's a mimic. But for you, everything's Newman. When will the podcast be? Still hashing out the details on that, Pharaohs. But as soon as it's the details are hashed out with Boss and Rattle or Serious Moonlight, I will let everyone know. Bum, bum, bum. Let's see. The Beast and Barbaric Man and Humanoids and Barn Shield Knights. Yes. Zero with Recube Slope. I don't know what Rebecca. Why would the corpse be on the same why would the corpses be on the same cemetery? Why? The same reason that they're in the same cemeteries now. They just buried them together. They needed to put them in the ground. That's all. A day to remember America's sacrifice. Yes, that's tomorrow. They're all the Sun Realms. No, bro. Sorry. They're not all the Sun Realms because they're two different cultures. You can tell by what they wear and the weapons they use. Rebecca is a mimic. Rebecca, you got to be careful with girls that their names end in A. Rebecca, Veronica, Amanda, Jessica, Sarah. What's another A name? Dora, Deborah, Marika, Rodrika, Melania, Letta, unfortunately. Mikola's a guy, bro. But yeah, so there you go. Be careful with women that have A's in their names as their last, because they're probably psychos. But a lot of fun. But yeah. Sure, there are. It's Texas, bro. There's dead people everywhere. In Texas we have. I don't know if you heard this, right? We have a cemetery where Bonnie and Clyde are buried. I don't know if you know them. Brianna. Yep, Brianna. Ooh, you have an ex named Brianna? Romina. Yep, you gotta be careful. That's why Millicent, Rhea, don't forget Rhea. Raya. Anyways, be careful. Now, don't talk bad about Letta. Eleonora. Whoa. This is crazy. All the baddies with an A. Oh, no, Mr. But the thing is that you see them everywhere together. Because there was a battle. They fought together. They died together. Alexandria. Yes, Alexandria. And there's two, you can see two different cultures represented in their gear and not that progression of culture. Rolana, Rena, not Ronnie though. Yoink! Ah, Ronnie's the only good girl. All right then. All right, everybody. Good night, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Maybe. Yes.